What's up everyone, V here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Marvel Legends Gamerverse series. I low-key hate that name, I can't lie. It sounds very like, I don't know, like when a company tries to relate to the youth, like, Gamerverse, I don't know. Anyway, I don't like the name. But yeah, this is the Marvel Legends Gamerverse series, Peter Parker Black Suit from Spider-Man 2, the game, not the movie. Don't know why it's called Peter Parker Black Suit and not just Spider-Man Black Suit or Black Suit Spider-Man. I don't know why they chose Peter Parker. It's definitely a decision. But yes, this is the Black Suit, symbiote suit, Spider-Man as he appears in Spider-Man 2, the game. A game that I have played and quite enjoyed. I like the PlayStation Spider-Man games. I think Spider-Man 2 got a little bit too much hate than what it was deserved. Yeah, the storyline isn't as solid as the first game, but it was fun as hell to play. I like, that was the most fun one to play. The web swinging was great. So much fun. Like, it was actually a challenge because I remember in the first game, if you like maxed out like all the little perk things or whatever, you were like one-hitting those enemies, but I was actually having a bit of a challenge, even on the easier mode. Granted, I'm not that great at video games, despite how much I play them, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun, and this is the suit that appears in it. When this wave was announced, I was really excited. I was like, oh my god, more actual Spider-Man 2 stuff. Really excited. I of course got this guy, and pre-ordered the Venom as well. That's gonna be a wild figure from just how big he is. I believe it said July, so yeah, gonna be a little bit before that guy gets here, but we got this guy. That is the only two I got from the wave, if I can be completely honest. I was debating Black Cat, but I was like, I don't care enough. But I was like, Black Suit, gotta get it. Wish they would pour as much effort that they did into this figure into an actual regular Spidey suit instead of just repainting a body. Maybe by game 3, guys. But yeah, before we get into the video, into the figure, also I want to acknowledge you might hear a fan in the background. It is not getting turned off, because if it turns off, I will die. It is hot as hell. But again, if you live in America, I don't know if it's in all of America, but at least the East Coast, it's a hot one. So yeah, fans are gonna be in the next couple videos because I don't want to die. But I also don't turn the AC on because it's a little too loud. But yeah, anyway, Black Suit. I'm a little in the middle on this design, because on one hand, I'm like, I take this any day over the Raimi suit. At least it's like, it's unique, it's different, it's not just Tobey Maguire but black. But I'm a little iffy. I definitely prefer the second style, when like the suit gets like more angry and he starts getting meaner. It like has a second phase. Definitely prefer that. It has a bit more like the organic venominess, because this one's got a weird mix of like armor and the weird venomy stuff, and I don't know if I'm the largest fan of the weird armored look or the shell look. I feel like the figure, this sometimes how it always is, I feel like the figure kind of captures the design sometimes a bit better, and I end up liking it a bit more. But I do commend them for making a very different black suit while still being comic accurate. It was slimy, it was weird. Granted, this figure's pretty matte, so that might be why I like it. I think I don't know if I just don't mess with the like shininess as much. But yeah, I don't hate the design, but it wasn't my favorite. And again, I like the second style better, but I feel like this figure makes it look a lot better, in my opinion. But yeah, that was my only like real strong nitpick. I also wish we got more of the black suit. I feel like he only really had it for like a couple days. Wish we got more of it in the game. Wish we got more of that Bully Parker. But, you know, I still enjoyed it. Granted, I can admit there are problems, but I still had a fun time. Anyway, before we get into the figure, we of course look at the box. And it's of course Gamerverse, so it's white for some reason. I like it aesthetically. What are my lights doing? Don't go out, power. We got Spider-Man 2, Gamerverse, 4+, Hasbro, words, more words, words, a nice little shot of like what literally just looks like a screenshot from the locker in the game, to be honest. Gamerverse, a bigger shot of that suit. You can see the shininess. I don't know, there's something about it in the game that I feel like I don't like nearly as much than on the figure. I don't know what it is. I feel like maybe because the Shelly armorness is not as insanely accentuated on the figure. I don't know. It still is, I don't know. Maybe it is the gloss that takes me out. Then on the back, it's literally just a locker screenshot with the full suit and all the figures in the wave. I'm not gonna be purchasing any of them. I only really want a black suit. Although, this one's a cool just concept. So I might buy it because it's cool. Don't care. Don't care. Question. This is a new sculpt too, right? Why did the random suits that... just random suit styles in the game get brand new sculpts, but the main suit he has in the game, no. We're repainting... I mean, I like that figure. It's fun because it's the Near Vows mold, and that's just a fun mold, but like, come on. It looks weird next to Black Suit and Miles. Anyway, that's my gripe. Now to the accessories. It doesn't come with too much, but again, he comes... Oh, that's a bug. It's a moth. Yeah, there's gonna be some bugs because, of course, the windows are open and all that because I'm dying. On him now is a fist and a thwip. If you've watched any of my previous Spidey reviews, you know a fist and a thwip goes on, and that's about it. But he comes with alternates, which is nice. They do got the little white there that's referencing the little white square on the OG design. Again, I do think they translated it into live action pretty well, and it's a really cool to just see the black suit comic accurate in, again, live action. It's not live action, but it's realistic. Although I'd love to see, I know they're not, but I'd love to see Tom Holland get the black suit, see what design they'd cook up with him. But also he comes with wall-crawling hands, as any Spidey should. And that's not it, because he also has this weird tendril thing. I don't ever care for the web effects, but there's probably somebody out there that's like, let's go! And to that, you got one. It's got a little hook here, and it's like the normal web effect, but like it's got all these little tendrils because it's venomized. Then it has a thing to grab it, but doesn't come with a grabbing hand. So I guess you just have to like do that. I guess that works, but it really seems like you should have like a grab hand to grab it, which is why I think they might have reused at least the base mold from one of the previous ones and then maybe just molded onto it. I don't know how that works. So I don't know how. I couldn't tell you the first step on how they make these figures. Like, I saw like a behind the scenes on how they do like the photo reel and like making the sculpts, and I was just like, I guess that kind of makes sense, but never in my mind did I think of any of those happening. I was like, yeah, I guess there has to be someone that sculpts these figures. What? Anyway, to the figure itself in all his glorious glory. Would have been cool to get an unmasked head with him, since we have one for Miles. At least from the first game, the Miles game. But, you know, hopefully fingers crossed, there will be a updated Spider-Man upgraded suit with a brand new sculpt and unmasked head from the game, please. I really like that suit. Please. But yeah, talking about the figure at hand, I think he looks really good. Like I said, honestly, the figure makes me like the design more than in the game. I think they captured it really well. I mean, proportionally, he looks great. He doesn't have any awkward, weird proportions. Thank God. No horridly dropped down shoulders. I think he looks great. Bringing him in, that head sculpt, that's just, it's black suit Spidey. Look at that. You got a little bit of the shell design, but not too much. And you got the nice little texture of like symbiote there. Then on the back, it's got this weird texture. I'm not sure what's up with that, but that's what I mean when it has like multiple different textures. Not sure if I'm the largest fan of it. I will say, Insomniac, they be cooking sometimes, but sometimes I feel like they do pull like the over design of some characters. There's a couple characters where I truly do think they over designed the hell out of them. But luckily for the Spideys, they keep it intact. But I will say they did pull a lot of crazy line work. But I guess it's like, it's a weird middle ground, because a lot of people complain about like the constant over-designed lines. But then I understand why they do it, because I think like having it just be completely plain might take away from the realism and make it look a bit goofy, like just a guy in spandex. But it's about finding that middle ground, and I feel like they just went a tad overboard on the design. But it still looks great. Got that weird, like, I don't even know what the, like, exposed, like, muscle type design throughout. They got the little white there. The Spidey symbol looks crisp as hell. Little misaligned, a little bit of paint splotch there. But besides that, looks great. Love how that looks. Clean as hell. And that's really it for the paint. It's just the couple white areas, but that's like every black suit design. Yeah, it's got a little bit of cake back there. A little flat though. And they got more of that exposed muscle look with the armor. Looks pretty cool. Coming down to his feet, those are definitely feet. Again, it's one of those where it's just like not much to talk about with the design, because it's the black suit. It's literally just an entire black suit but with the Spidey logo. But again, the figure looks good. But how's he pose? Poses pretty decently. There were a couple, I guess, I don't know, qualms about the figure that people had were, number one, no toe articulation, which I'm glad. I don't care for the toe articulation. I don't ever use it, and 9 times out of 10 it just ends up flipping and flopping, and I don't care. And there's the biggest thing that I heard people talk about with this figure was no butterfly joint. And I can kind of see why, because look at how crisp that logo is. It would kind of get like cut the hell up. Like when you bring it, this ain't a good example, but like it would break up, because then it'd like cut into here, and I feel like it'd break up, and I can see why they didn't do it, because I feel like it would kind of mess up how clean that chest logo looks, and it look clean as hell. So I'm honestly alright. It doesn't really break my heart, but he does have, is this a dumbbell? It is a dumbbell. I like ball hinge on my Spideys, because again, I feel like you just don't get enough up or down, but it rocks and it bobs, rotates, hinges up pretty far, bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, nice and smooth too. Sometimes some of them can be a little like tough to bend. Seeing the hands there, he's got diaphragm and ab crunch, which moves really far back. He is arching like crazy, and they painted, of course, up and continued the sculpt as well. Kind of comes a little forward, not as far forward. The ab crunch doesn't really go too far forward, but at least crunches. No drop down hips, thank God. I hate the drop down hips, and after the No Way Home figures, I live in fear of them. But he does only kick that far, sadly. And back, can do the splits. Thigh rotation, double jointed knee, bit tighter. Boot cut, then an up and down and a rocker. So yeah, just like standard Marvel Legends. Kinda hindered in a few places, but I feel like they went more sculpt versus articulation, and I'm alright with that. I'm personally fine with that. Can I figure out a third way of wording that sentence that technically means the exact same thing? Anyway, how does he compare to some previous I was gonna say Spider-Man, but then I was gonna instantly start grabbing figures that aren't Spider-Man. But how's he compared to other figures? That's the better phrase. Here he is next to a Black Series and a Transformers figure. Here he's next to Studio Series Shockwave. And the previous review, Black Series Commander Cody. And actually, Cody's kind of like lining up with him, I can't lie. Usually the Black Series are a tad bit smaller, but I don't know if it's the helmet, but they're kind of lining up. And then for a 7-inch scale comparison, DC McFarlane, Black Manta, and Jazzwares Halo CE Master Chief. Of course they tower. Now, as Anakin would say, this is where the fun begins. Bringing in a good amount of Spideys. I mentioned No Way Home. Here he is next to not Tom Holland. Dear God, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. They look really cool together, and it's good. It's cool seeing, because I feel like this would be like what he would look like with a black suit. So that's really cool. Now here he is next to Tom Holland. This is the that 3-pack Spidey, but with the final swingsuit head on it, because that figure sucks, but this is the best Tom Holland masked head, because this masked head sucks. And who else we got? Here he is next to the oh god, what was it? The Maximum series? What the hell is that Spidey called? I want to say Maximum series Spidey, but with a little bit of head swap, this is the Superior Spider-Man masked head, just because I prefer a more rounder, kinder-eyed Spidey, and I feel like this head kind of matches. I mentioned it in this review for this figure, swapping the head. This isn't the head I mentioned to swap, but this is the head I decided to swap because I like how these eyes look with this body. Anyway, for some more black suit related figures, here he is next to the animated black suit, and then Agent Venom. You know, with how realistic they made Agent Venom, they kind of go together. And oh nope, not finally. Here he is next to the closest Venom for now, the Venom and L 2-pack Venom. And now, finally, here he is next to that regular Spidey suit, and next to Miles. They look kind of cool together. The Miles oddly looks a bit wonky, even though that figure's not that old. They look great together. It's really cool being able to have these two together and actual brand new sculpts, and not one looking like a comic figure. So yeah, do I recommend this black suit Spidey? Honestly, hell yeah. He's a fun figure to pose around with. Didn't pose him around too much, but the little bit of time I messed with him before this vid, really like him. He's nice, he's fun. He could pose a bit better, but again, there's a couple sacrifices made, and I'd rather take the perfect logo and the no drop down hips for the lack of some movement. If you want like a movie or like live action black suit, this is perfect. If you just want just a cool Spidey figure, honestly recommend it. Solid, I'm giving him 8 out of 10. Definitely don't regret buying this guy. Anyway, like, subscribe, check out my previous reviews. Check out my Instagram, MidnightXO. I hardly ever post on there, but when I do, I try to keep it music related. Don't know what the next review might be. It might be on the Comic Miles, which will be an interesting vid because it's definitely an interesting figure. I want, because I was gonna record a bunch of videos in the same night, and I don't know. I wanted to record 3 because I kind of disappeared for a while, but like I low-key don't know what I want the 3rd video to be. So there might not be a 3rd video recorded tonight, and I don't know why I'm saying that to you, like it matters. Anyway, hopefully you have a wonderful day, and hopefully your best friend doesn't appear out of nowhere with an alien. Was it an alien in the game? I forget. But some weird symbiote attached to him, which then attaches to you, which then makes you be mad and mean to people, which then attaches to your best friend again, but this time turns him into a freak with a tongue, where then he tries to take over the world, in which then you may or may not almost possibly kill him, trying to kill it. Yeah, hopefully that doesn't have to. Anyway, peace.